Welcome back to Bible and Blues. I am Cameron, your host. Be sure to like, subscribe me here. We used to do daily stuff, but I've had some personal issues that have backed me off quite a bit. But hopefully, we'll get back to doing daily stuff soon. And so, one of the things I want to talk about today is, and I mentioned it in my last video where I read Proverbs 2. Today, we're going to be reading Proverbs 3. And I'm not too sure, because one of the things is that if I don't put something against atheism in the title, they never take a look at it, and so I never get any answers to this question. And so like it or not, in order to get your attention, I am gonna put it in the title. So you call it clickbait if you want to, but it's the only way you guys look at it. So what we hear all the time as Christians, first off, is that all the burden of proof is on us. We have to prove it. That's what we hear all the time. Yet you want us to become atheists. You really do, or else you wouldn't argue as much as you do. My hair's drying funny today. You really want us to become atheists. You really think you need to convert us to atheism, or you wouldn't argue the way you do. You wouldn't come across the way you do. First off, why do you want us to be atheists? Okay. What is your proof to convert us to atheism? What is your proof? So, since you want us to stop being theists because we're holding back science, even though the majority of science that's happened over the centuries has happened from theists, such as Isaac Newton, Francis Collins, Francis Scott Bacon, who developed the scientific method. Okay, the number of achievements in astrology. That's good. In astronomy, through the Catholic Church. And Galileo was a Catholic, and in spite of his disagreements with the Catholic Church on things. So, in spite of all this, what are you viewing as what are you going to do to prove to me that atheism is real? So I'm putting it back on you guys. All the time I hear is, you can't prove a negative. Well, all right. Well, you've got to convince me too. If you want me to suddenly drop my faith and come to your side, and it seems like that's what you want by the way you argue. What's your proof? What's your proof that God doesn't exist? Come on. And then for the proof that you want that God does exist, what do you want to hear? What do you want to know? What do you want as your example of proof? Do you want? Seriously. Do you want? What do you want? Do you want his home address? Is that what you're looking for? Is God's home address? Are you looking for his? Where he lives? Do you want him to come sit down at your kitchen table and say, "Hey, I'm God, by the way, and here's a couple of miracles to show you. Here's a couple of petty tricks, to show you I'm God." What do you want? Because what I hear all the time is, there is no proof for God. Well, we give you philosophical arguments for God all the time. We give you, where the fingerprints of God are, and the definition of, that's the universe had to come from something. And I'm going to talk about that little thing I just brushed off there in a second. You're going to like that. So that's that's the kind of thing. So I put it on you. What's your proof that there is no God? You want me to believe that there is no God. You want me to have as much lack of faith in God as you have. And otherwise, if that's not what you're doing, then what you are is you're a seeker. You actually want to know that there is a God. Okay? You actually want to believe in a God, in a creator, in an all-powerful creator who is a personal God who wants to know you. So therefore, otherwise, you're trying to convert me. So we have across the country right now, there are a lot of wildfires happening. We're in a very dry season. Here in the Pacific Northwest, where I am, usually it would be raining pretty much consistently right now. And we're not. We're still just as dry and we're just as hot. You want to argue climate change right now? Now is a good time to argue climate change. It's been in the 90 degree days in September as school starts, and usually around here it's in the 70s at best and raining. So now is a good time, and so we have a lot of wildfires happening around here, and Crystal Mountain is causing a huge problem in this particular locale. We actually have ash. It's about 30 miles away, and there's ashes that are coating cars. There was a coating of ash on my vehicle this morning. I left it out of the garage, and I don't normally do that, but there was a coating of ash on the car when I got up this morning, and it's and as I sit here, I can see the occasional ash flake floating and landing on my car. So pray for that, please. Pray for these fires. Pray for the firefighters. Pray for the hotspot jumpers. Pray for the people who are fighting these fires and the people affected by these fires, please. Atheists, think happy thoughts. You're kind of useless in this unless you're one of the hotspot firefighters. Seriously, unless you're either donating something, which I would hazard to guess many Christians are, or you're a hotspot firefighter, which hey, there's a full mix there. Unless you're out there firefighting, you're probably kind of useless in this endeavor. So if you're not donating something and you're a Christian, why not? Why are you not helping? Okay, these are affecting people's homes. They're losing their houses. It takes time for funds to come in for these things, and so for insurance to take effect, and until then, you've been forced to evacuate your house, and you don't know if you even have a house anymore. So we have places like Houston, which were underwater last week, and we have places like this where we have just incredible amount of fires. And like I said, if you want to argue, climate change right now is the time to do it. Okay, but for today we are going to read Proverbs chapter 3. Further benefits of wisdom. My son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you prosperity. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes, for fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. There's that ash kicking in my throat there. Sorry. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. My son, do not despise the Lord's discipline, and do not resent his rebuke, because the Lord disciplines those he loves as a father, and the son he delights in. Blessed is the man who finds wisdom, the man who gains understanding, for she is more profitable than silver, and yields better returns than gold. She is more precious than rubies. Nothing you desire can compare with her. Long life is at her right hand. In her left hand are riches and honor. Her ways are pleasant ways, and all her paths are peace. She is a tree of life to those who embrace her. Those who lay hold of her will be blessed. By wisdom the Lord laid the earth's foundation. By understanding he set the heavens in place. By his knowledge the deeps were divided, and the clouds let drop the dew. My son, preserve sound judgment and discernment. Do not let them out of your sight. They will be life for you, and an ornament to grace your neck. Then you will go on your way in safety, and your foot will not stumble. When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet. Have no fear of sudden disaster or ruin that overtakes the wicked, for the Lord will be your confidence, and will keep your foot from being snared. Do not withhold good from those who deserve it when it is in your power to act. Do not say to your neighbor, "Come back later, I'll give it to you tomorrow," when you have it with you. Do not plot harm against your neighbor who lives trustfully near you. Do not accuse a man for no reason when he has done you no harm. Do not envy a violent man or choose any of his ways, for the Lord detests a perverse man, but takes the upright into his confidence. The Lord's curse is on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the righteous. He mocks proud mockers, but gives grace to the humble. The wise inherit honor, but fools he holds up to shame. Here is the reading of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So, if you have a perspective on today's reading, on the wisdom that God wants us to use, if you have a perspective on anything else I've spoken about, if you are somebody who is being affected by the wildfires or have already been affected by Hurricane Harvey, or you are looking at the next hurricane with fear and trepidation, trust in the Lord. Trust in Him. He will see you through things, and use wisdom. Trust in the Lord and use the wisdom He has granted you. Get out of there if you need to get out of there. Do not stay in the path of danger out of some sense of righteousness. It's not the way it works. God will protect you by giving you shelter to go to, and get out of there if you're in a path right now. We are not in a path of fire here, and so long as nobody's stupid and lights off fireworks in a dry patch of ground around us, we should be fine. I am praying that the Lord sees fit to allow the weather patterns to change, so that we can get the rain that we so desperately need across this land to reduce the amount of fires and get them back under control. Allow people back to their homes. So anyway, God bless you. Have a great day. I will talk at you later.